PEX caliber. Apollo. It's all Chinese junk. This is PEX, made in China. Yep. My plumbing is all finished here except that I had water hammer, which means the water column is making the pipes bang when the water pump shuts off. Made in China. Water ace. Anyhow, I put this piece of pipe in that's capped at the end. There's a cap there. Put an elbow in. This length of pipe is never going to fill with water. It'll have air in it, which might act to arrest the air hammer when the pipes shake when you close the water too abruptly. So, in this basement that I should clean, Corvair Wid. In this basement, drag her up. Oop. A nice new linoleum with my dirty shoes. Big paws. Boy, is it cold outside today. 58 degrees, 14 Celsius. Sure feels a lot colder. I guess short pants season and short socks is over. Oh yeah, smell that bleach. Anyhow, when the water pump would turn off in the basement, it would abruptly stop the water flow, and bang, the pipes would shake, even though they're plastic and you think they'd expand and absorb the hammer of the water. But they don't. So I put a T-fitting in and an adapter and a piece of 3/4 inch capped at the end. It'll never fill up with water. It'll always have air in it. And maybe that will arrest my water hammer. Maybe. 3/4 inch PEX tool and a 1/2 inch. You gotta open these jaws up, monster size, like that. Takes a lot of room. And you put one of these copper rings in, and you squeeze it over the plastic pipe, and it pinches the copper and makes a watertight connection that can even be rotated. You can spin it and it doesn't leak. It's a great system. PEX. I don't use copper sweat fittings anymore. Those are for wimps. This is a much better system. It's flexible. You can cut into it and modify it. You don't catch things on fire. It's easily repairable. Maybe it even expands. Oh, that pump sounds real good. Grinding away. So, that's my little trick of the day. Click. It's here when that pump stops. There might be air in the system. When that pump stops, let's see if it shakes the pipe. What I could do here is put an air hammer arrestor right there, closer to the pump, to add air to the system so that the water column doesn't vibrate. And I think I have the fitting right here. Male. This one or this one? You can believe it, they call that 1/2 inch. It's really 1/4 inch, but yep, right there. I'm going to put one on top. Take that plug out and put a piece of PEX sticking at the top. If I had more 3/4 inch, I'd put a piece of 3/4 inch. It would have more air capacity. But I did not bring any 3/4 inch here, so clunk. You hear that? 50 pounds. 50. I gotta clean this basement up a little bit. I'm tracking all this crud up the stairs into my brand new linoleum. Look what I found inside the wall. I was doing some work. Made in... can't read it. It's a freshly sharpened chisel. Freshly sharpened chisel. Leave some of the dirt downstairs. Crank her up! I hope I have a drain. Yeah, no leaks. Good. Full pressure. That water pump will start up in a few seconds, and we'll see what it sounds like when it shuts off now that there's no more air in the system. It still clunks. Nope, no pump. There it goes. Speaking of hot water, I'm going to turn on the electric hot water tank. See what it sounds like when it shuts off, and it goes bang! Hot water is on. Hot water is on. You're wondering what this little gray box is? What this box does is it turns on the hot water at midnight when the electric rates drop. I have a dual range electric meter with 2 settings. At 11 o'clock I pay less for electricity, and after 6 a.m. when the electricity usage goes up, I pay more for electricity. So this one, this little gray timer box, turns on the hot water tank after midnight when the rates are cheaper, because an electric hot water heater takes lots of juice. And when I say lots, I mean 4,000 watts, 3380 upper element, no, 240, 4,500 watts. Clunk. Yeah, maybe it's doing it less, but no leaks. I hope it's clunking less than it was. Sure is abrupt. Clunk! You can tell when that pump is running. So now I'm getting my hot water cranked up, and if I had a screwdriver here, which there's my screwdriver, I was looking for that yesterday. Let's see. The lower element on an electric hot water heater does 95% of the work. 95, maybe 99. Because only one element works at any one time unless you have a 60 amp breaker and you run an 8 gauge or a 6 gauge wire. Only one element runs at a time. The bottom element runs until the cold water, which fills from the top, but actually has a dip tube that goes to the bottom, so the cold water enters from the bottom. The lower element runs until the cold water level filling reaches here, then it turns on the upper element for your last 10 gallons. So unless you use 50 gallons, which takes an awful long time, you're going to be using the bottom heating element 99% of the time in normal applications. And this water heater is set for a temperature of 140 degrees. I don't know what that is in Celsius, but 140 is probably 60 degrees. I'm going to guess. This water tank was installed, and the date is always on the element. Sometimes it's on the bottom of the element, you can't read it. 0413, which is 2004, the 13th week of 2004. I think we bought this house in the fall of 2004, so 7 years ago, because the fellow had just put a new hot water tank in. Whoops. Just before we bought the house. So I'm going to put down early. I'm going to put the date on here. Keep track of these things. Early 2004. There. Put my magic marker away. I'm going to put this cover back and we'll see you in a bit.